Christmas Eve 1945, a peaceful night in West Virginia turns into a nightmare as a family home is consumed by flames. But what's more terrifying than the fire itself? The chilling fact that 5 children disappeared that night, never to be seen again. No bodies, no evidence, just silence. Was it a tragic accident or a sinister conspiracy? This is the haunting 80-year-old mystery of the Sodder children. It all began on Christmas Eve in the small town of Fayetteville, West Virginia. George and Jenny Sodder, Italian immigrants, were celebrating with their 10 children. The night was filled with joy and laughter until, just after midnight, Jenny was awakened by the smell of smoke. The Sodder home was on fire. George and Jenny rushed to save their children. 4 of them made it out alive, but 5 were trapped inside. Maurice, 14, Martha, 12, Louis, 9, Jenny, 8, and Betty, 5. George broke a window, cutting himself in the process, and tried to re-enter the house. But the flames were too intense. Desperate to save his children, he tried every means possible, but something strange happened at every turn. The fire raged on, but here's where things get bizarre. First, George's ladder, which he always kept in the same spot, was missing. It was later found in a ditch far from the house. Second, George's truck, which he planned to use to pull the children's room window open, mysteriously wouldn't start. It had been working perfectly fine the day before, and then the phone lines had been cut. Someone had deliberately ensured the family couldn't call for help. By morning, the house was reduced to ashes. But here's the most chilling part. There were no remains. Not a single bone, no teeth, no traces of the 5 missing children. Experts said it was impossible for the fire to burn so hot that nothing was left. Before the fire, the Sodders had been receiving strange threats. George was a vocal critic of Benito Mussolini, the Italian dictator. Could someone have been seeking revenge? One man even warned George that his house would be burned and his children destroyed if he didn't stop speaking out. And then there were sightings. Over the years, people claimed to have seen the Sodder children. One woman said she served them breakfast at a diner, accompanied by strangers who wouldn't let them speak. Another claimed to have seen them with adults who appeared to be controlling them. In 1968, over 20 years after the fire, Jenny Sodder received a letter. Inside was a photograph of a man who looked strikingly like her missing son Louis, now grown up. On the back it read, "Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie, Ilil boys, A99 32 or 35. The Sodders hired a private investigator, but he vanished without a trace. What does the cryptic message mean? Was it a clue or a cruel prank?" To this day, the case remains unsolved, but theories abound. Some believe the children were kidnapped by someone who knew the family and had ties to George's political enemies. Others think they were sold into human trafficking. And then there are those who believe the children perished in the fire and the lack of remains was due to shoddy investigation.